Welcome, everyone, to another adventure into comedy. We intend to offend. A warning ahead of time. If you have a stick up your ass, are a snowflake, and are offended easily, please turn off this video. Now, we are joined by Monty Dean. David Ellis, who is supposed to be in the bathtub, is having technical difficulties. He will be joining us as soon as he solves his technical difficulties. Monty, welcome to our comedy 2 hours of Intend to Offend.
Hello, Andrew. And are you trying to be funny? No, I kid.
Just a little bit.
And the ball is rolling, whatever that means. So, yes, remove your stick and don't be a flake.
So we want to put out to everyone that's out there, this is our 4th comedy show we've done now.
Yep.
We want to ask people, like Damani and I were just talking about in the breakout room before, what are we going to name this show? We want to come up with over the next 2 hours what we might want to name the show. And if you come up with a really great name, we might give you a big pat on the back.
Or a virtual t-shirt.
Or a virtual t-shirt, exactly.
He may be the wrong size.
So Monty, you've been asked to offend science and Scientology in the beginning. What angle of offense would you like to start with?
Well, interestingly enough, Scientology doesn't use science, really, which I find amusing. It's like, well, hang on, how can you? It's all about the great Xenu. And L. Ron Hubbard apparently made it up as he went along, and it's fascinating. They don't like documentaries being made about them, so I'm sure we're going to get visited.
They don't like clams either. Apparently, the phaetons or beings that live in clams are their devils.
Yeah, and you know how I sort of said, like, you know, the kaleidoscope of creation and everything has a similar premise. I think they've taken that premise of gone, well, let's just add a bit of horseshit, and make a lot of money
from a very wealthy clientele.
It's like, we'll give you a test and you hold these things and look, snake oil.
Like the wealthier you get, the dumber you get at that level. Unfortunately, we intended to offend. So sorry. I can already see a dislike coming from that one.
Well, you know, I could always get shorter and jump up and down on a couch in front of Oprah. And then tell people that the pharmaceutical companies are, what did Tom actually say about psychiatric drugs? Oh, they don't work, it's a scam. And then he laughed his head off.
It's not exactly off there.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
not exactly off there. I mean, they do serve a purpose for people in full-on manic convulsions and stuff like that. But in general, you shouldn't be on the medicines more than a year, let alone 6 months.
Yeah, it's the greed and corruption element. Like, from my perspective with the vaccines, I always say they look good on paper, but what the hell are they doing here? Where, you know, adding tar and mercury and all that type of stuff, like dangerous stuff. Especially where, you know, antidepressants may cause suicidal thoughts. I don't think they're working. How can there be antidepressants if you may want to kill yourself?
Because they amplify or are supposed to subdue what is already there. And some thoughts, when you go to subdue them, they amplify them. And that's the issue with these antipsychotic drugs. They don't actually know what they're doing to each individual.
Yeah, well, that comes into the spiritual element of doing the inner work and facing those negative connotations where on a basic level, if you ignore them or suppress them, they come back stronger because your shadow self's like, well, you want to try that, buddy? All right, here you go, times 10. You know how the universe works.
And it's so much depression can be solved with just pure comedy.
Yes, yeah.
So many snowflakes with sticks up their ass right now that are offended out of blinking. You blink too much. I'm offended.
Yeah. I'm from the pop culture realm as well, and the workdom and SJWs and NPC where calling people, everyone's a racist Nazi, and with your help as well, sort of help write this joke that this is why the Nazis from the South Pole haven't exposed themselves. Hans, we're not going out there. Look at all these poses. They don't even have the uniforms.
Exactly. They're appropriating our culture. They're racist.
Remembers the fatherland when we actually had control, and now people cry about the like. Yeah, I think they're actually. If you see this in the comic book world, they have two characters called Snowflake and Safe Space.
Yeah, we talked about that before. Snowflake.
Yeah, it's like really, it's not a parody to misquote Wolf Raincastle, whatever his name is from Rainier Wolfcastle from The Simpsons. It's not a comedy. It's just really weird, especially like I remember I learned a lot about Scientology from South Park, because they didn't actually have to write the jokes. They just explained what they believed. And they actually had to put a credit up saying, no, this is what they actually think. With the great Xenu, is that how you say it?
That's great Xenu and the Galactic Wars that went on there.
Yeah, now obviously, is the whole Xenu project, is that in the astral records at all?
No.
Yeah.
No. I've been asked this many, many times, and I simply say no.
Yeah, it saves some time. No.
Some time by going no.
So it's a badly written sci-fi.
I wouldn't actually call it badly written. I mean, it would make a great Star Wars, replacement actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Take the clam aspect out of it, and it's actually a pretty it's a space opera.
Yes. So it's the hero's journey from
the space.
Ron's.
Right.
And you just Cardinal 35, you are correct. Mind you, they've got over 400 episodes of The Simpsons, so it's not really they're predicting the future. They've just covered every base where you can just link it back to. I know a friend who became a primary school teacher to help with the lessons when she was they do their trials, whatever, I can't remember the right word. She would explain what the teacher just said through a Simpson episode. That time when Barney blah blah blah, and everyone's like, oh
yeah. So, learning through association.
Yeah.
Let's delve a little deeper and hit that comedy bone hard. Okay?
Ow.
So at one point we were talking about the disclosure and the falling apart of the religion. I think that was on the first comedy show that we were talking about that, or might have been a conversation.
17. I should have written them down. 17 religions collapsing. Yeah.
17 religions. And when we looked at science, there were some very, very unique and funny things. Science being able to prove the God source, and it in full denial because they wanted to go into peer review of God. The ego scientists going, no, there is no God.
I've had a shit life, so God doesn't exist.
Yes. David is having technical difficulty. He's not exactly here yet. If he gets over his technical difficulties, which is internet in Barbados right now, he's having some issues there. He will get on, but right now David is not here. Yes, I know there are many broken-hearted women going, why isn't David in the tub right now?
But maybe he is. Yeah.
Yeah, so, well, you can visualize him if you want him in the tub. They're waiting for you.
Yeah.
Well,
moist. The English language sometimes is saying that word moist to certain people, they like, ugh, or they giggle for 45 minutes. It's just like, this cake is moist. Ooh.
What kind of moist?
Yummy moist. Not red. Oh, thank you for looking at my Instagram. It's basically meme central. I don't take photos of myself. So, yes. Good point. A good time to bring up that you can join the chat room. Interesting enough how
join the chat room. And we are only using the chat room here in Zoom, and Robert will put up the graphic in just a moment, as I didn't give him any warning. You can go to zoom.us, and our ID code is 911-001-1974. Zoom.us. And if you want to dial in and be a part of the show, calls, we will be taking callers later on. There are all the different phone numbers for you to call in and be a part of the show, whether you're listening on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Periscope, or any other place that you are listening, come and join our Zoom room. And make sure you hit share to all of your friends and family and come and enjoy our hour of offense.
And it's not a renovation show. We actually mean to offend, not build a fence. Or destroy fences. Oh, that's a good one. Offend by destroying fences.
Offending fences.
Yeah, you call that an upright? You suck.
You call that a fence? It's not straight.
Oh, it's picketed. Look at me. And it's white, you racist.
You crooked.
Oh, I love that. Scientists, we're trying to find the God Spark and the Heisenberg or whatever it is. Defenders of offended fences. That's it. Oh, there's a limerick.
That's really the defenders of offended fences.
That's in the top 5 of the
diamond thieves out there that are laughing their ass off right now.
You're gonna watch that comedy show? Something about fences? Like, hey man. The CERN and their collider, or Satan's donut, as I call it. One of them in Europe was taken down by a ferret. I name him Pierre, because Mother Nature said, okay, Pierre, you need to take one for the team. Just go in there and chew on some cables and fuck the whole thing up for 8 months.
So it was first taken down by a moth. Okay.
Like just a small genetic one, not like Mothman or the
moth. And then another one was a beetle. And then it was a weasel, not a ferret, but they're technically the same thing.
Yeah,
got in there and did like $3 billion in damage to it.
And when you said beetle, it was like Ringo Starr or Paul McCartney?
It was the regular beetle, just got in a place that's shorted stuff out. But I remember reading the article, and I'm like, go Weasel Clan! You just destroyed CERN. All of those mass meditations that don't do shit to it, and it took one weasel.
Yes, yeah. I mean, don't they have a statue of Shiva out the front in the courtyard? Like,
they have a statue of the weasel out there.
Yeah, going, take that. Exactly. That type of stuff is funny. I remember Sean David Morton he met someone who worked at CERN. He was at a sports ball game or whatever, and he told the story of like, so why can't the scientists figure out how to actually work the thing? Well, there's 2 theories. One is where we don't know what we're doing, or every time we turn it on, we collapse reality, and the prime creator steps back and rebuilds the whole universe. And Sean's gone, that is the worst example of incompetence I've ever heard. Oh, we may destroy the universe, and then we go back, and then boom, it comes out again.
Did you hear about the hole in the fence in the news columns? Boop, boop, boop. Police are looking into it. That's good. Well,
yes.
When it comes to CERN, the joke's on science with that one. They think they know what they're doing, and they're doing experiments to prove a theory and a hypothesis that hasn't proven anything, really.
Yeah. Well, you go into the conspiracy world, allegedly, because, legal proceedings, they're trying to open a portal to another dimension or another universe or something. And like, why is it 5 miles in radius? Like, how big of this portal do you want?
A big one. They got to get all those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's really thank you, Alan CERN, making shit up as we go along.
That's their motto.
Here's a scientific report.
Exactly.
Maybe this, maybe that. It's interesting as well where in science, the whole funding aspect, I jokingly like, you have to listen to me. I'm wearing a white coat and I've got funding. And yet I've come up with, like on my roundtables, 2 or 3 different ideas. And I'm just an unemployed comedian. Imagine if I had white coat and funding where, the use of hemp, but like the electromagnetic field around the planet, if you put up the correct metal sort of apart from each other, you should be able to block out the magnetic side and get the electro side in between. I'm not saying that's a kill shot and it's like, yes, there we are, we've got free energy. But imagine if I had funding and have been doing it for 70 years, I would figure that out. You're looking for your headset, aren't you?
Yes. Give me a second. I just had it here. 1 second.
Those timelines are collapsing. What else I did come up with? Basic idea. Not you keep seeing 16-year-olds in their garage creating free energy devices. It's like, oh, we've got coal, and then you've got global warming, because apparently still CO2 is evil and destructive, and there's not enough of it in the atmosphere. I'm not sure how that works.
Here's a topic, Monty. Someone, Cardaniel posted Trump's Space Force. Something on Trump's Space Force.
Yeah, I wonder, is it a sequel to Reagan's Star Wars? In the conspiracy world, it's they're sort of doing a form of disclosure of, oh, we've got this Space Force, which allegedly we've had for decades already. It's like, where do you get all this stuff from? You know,
to insanity and beyond.
Well, it's huge. We've got a huge planet. Huge.
Well, definitely at the insanity levels here already.
Yeah. Because that's what you. There's always been said that there is a quarantine around the planet, and I've met a lot of humans. Yeah, I can understand why the aliens don't was like. Have you noticed a lot of UFOs that okay, roll up your windows and lock the doors. We're going past Earth.
So last week we came up with Barry and Gary.
Oh, yes. Gary the Gray and Barry the Draconian.
Yes, Barry the Gray and Gary and blah, blah, blah. So we want people in the chat room here to remind us of some of the things they laugh at. We're going to expand the story of Barry and Gary and their office manager, Larry.
Now, is he a Nordic?
Yes, he's a Nordic.
Yes, I like to laugh.
So, Barry the Gray. Sorry, Gary the Gray.
Gary the Gray. GG. Barry, Barry's the Draconian. Yes. Gary's the Gray. And they have their representative from the Fourth Reich called Hans. Or Fritz. Yeah. Or Fritz.
And they're all telemarketers.
Yeah, well, you got to sell that global narrative, Andrew. I'm just putting it out there.
That's right. So they're selling their global narrative stock, and Gary the Gray's having a really bad day, and he's driving into work one day, listening to Howard Stern, not laughing at all, and he sees Barry stuck in traffic and laughing and just having fun, and he starts to get jealous. Really jealous that Barry's having all that fun. So when they get to work, good old Gary the Gray never shows any emotion, starts to get very catty, very, very protective of his space. And Barry's like, man, what's going on, Gary? You almost never show emotion. And now I'd like for you to be Gary the Gray having an emotional moment.
I feel hurt.
What could you be hurt about? You're a collective Gray. You don't have emotions.
I want a girlfriend.
You don't have a penis.
Well, thank you for pointing that. I don't wear clothes either, Barry.
That's your cultural problem. Don't blame it. Don't blame your woes on me. Don't you do the inner work?
What?
The inner work. That stuff your species has been avoiding for a few million years.
Hey, look, our versions of dates is we sneak into these humans' houses and put them into a trance and then float them out to our ship.
And then do all that anal probing stuff, huh? What's that shit? Are you bad as Germans?
That's just a joke.
Two Grays in a cup?
No, it's 2 Grays in a saucer.
2 Grays in a saucer.
Yeah, open line wide now. I'm not. Oh, what questions would you ask on a comedy show? Be careful of the answers. Yeah. Well, Greys would be perfect for. Have you seen the movie? Is it Falling Down with Michael Douglas? He could be a Grey. Not Michael Douglas, but that's
he
the
might
sort
be.
of like,
He might be. You never know.
yeah. I'm upset, so I'm going to rip the fabric of space and time and put a hole straight through this quarantine for this planet, and then collect.
I didn't keep my job.
Yeah, I was outsourced to those bloody Acturians. Oh dear. And what I've just had a flash of a Palladian festival. I don't know what that's from.
That's from the Pleiadian boy band in Synchronicity. They're on tour right now.
Or are they?
Yeah, they're on tour right now.
Crap harmonies. From their latest 9-planet tour of Orion.
They're a real band, the Palladian boy band in Synchronicity. People think I'm kidding. No, it's an actual real musical group from the Pleiades. That's a boy band.
Is music that much different outside of the Earth, or are we just used to human music?
We're used to human music because they have so many more capacity to perceive and create sound, rhythm, harmony, beat matching, etc.
As well as is there different in harmonics and notes as well?
All that too. There's new things beyond your musical imagination.
Yeah. Because bloody mathematicians.
So, Duita, do they have Raven girls? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have gigantic girl fans all over the thing that drives their popularity. Okay.
Oh, a bunch of stands. See, now that's what I find funny. You've got in Synchronicity, that manager's a brilliant man or beings like in Synchronicity, because it's like not. But I'm from the metal world, so I don't really how big Slayer in the Orion cluster. So it's like,
it's more, the Draconians like Slayer a little bit.
Yeah,
more.
I was gonna say yeah. Because Slayer, they're a satanic band. It's like, really, 3 atheists and a Catholic.
That's exactly 3 atheists and a Catholic make up a satanic band.
It's just art, you cockheads. So yeah, I find that where I understand how there's that whole trance element and monotonous, and it's just expanding from ancient culture with the drum circle and having the rhythm and everything else like that. But I listen to Metallica, Anthrax, Scar Symmetry, and all these Devin Townsend, Tuned Down to C, and all this crunching. I don't know if they'll be very popular off-world, or if it's just the negative forces, because you can still have positive, happy stuff. It's just power coming through.
Well, music in general can connect and create harmonies and emotions, just like comedy. Comedy can transcend generations, and music can transcend generations.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of stoner Pink Floyd listeners in the Pleiades and the Arcturians. All right.
Yeah.
And Arcturians looking at the bricks in the wall, seeing it from a whole different point of view.
Oh,
wondering what the fuck pudding is.
Just and meat. Well, I'm a vegetarian, so
wait, we eat holographic meat.
Now, of course, we put that idea out, people are going to have dreams of traveling to the Pleiades, and it's like, I met this fantastic, awesome being. He was wearing a caftan, and that the Dark Side of the Moon poster was in his bedroom. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it was a slightly different cover as well, because there was another color. There was 8 colors coming out of the prism instead of 7.
8 colors coming out of the prism, exactly.
Wow.
And there are plenty of off-worlders who love our classical music, or Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Okay, yeah. There's some powerful beat matchings in that stuff, and then they can telepathic choruses that are forever in your mind, cheering you up.
Oh, that playing an instrument, just trying to write something, and like I'm fascinated with Beethoven. Apparently, one of his symphony movements is the right frequency and collection of notes, which can sort of do some inner work and transmute you into a different state and in a healing process. And I'm stuck here going A, C, A, oh fuck, A, C, like just like the major chords. It's like, well, this, yeah, crap. Then you go, and that's, it's 300 years old. It is a reason it's called classical music, and the term classic as well. It's not just because it's old. It's because, there's so many famous things. Like Ode to Joy, can still be played.
Hallelujah, all of the Into the Hall of the Mountain King, and those are all different people, but
yeah,
they still connect today. They've been able to jump thousands of generations and species and worlds. I get asked this a lot. Is there like off-world heavy metal? Yes, there is. There are always angry teenagers out there creating angry teenager music.
Yeah, but Dad, I don't want to evolve. I want to listen to Metallica's first album. Yeah.
Now, imagine what rap has done to the Pleiadians and the Arcturians.
Are you able to say
gangster rap has done to them?
Well, are you able to say a sentence in light language only so you could give, like, can you imagine a 3-minute Public Enemy song in that language?
Give me a second. Like an actual rappy gangster light language song?
Well, if you want to do a light language rap, but just even one sentence, like hello.
I can. I've done this before actually, because I have this regular ongoing conversation of how our cultures has affected other places and spaces.
Yep.
All right, so this is, for lack of better words, bitches, blunts, 40s, and hoes is a common gangster rap thing. So this is around acquiring that type of stuff in dollar bills. Chico uga, chak chita, tachitoko, chitika kuki, chikuchi, kakakachitiko, chakta tika,
See, I was prepared to laugh, but I'm like, that's awesome.
Light language with attitude.
Someone in the chat room put in PWA, Palladians with attitude.
Exactly.
That's right, mother lover.
Exactly. Mother lover, exactly.
Are you ready to ascend?
Exactly. I felt the offense.
Raise your vibration into the air.
Raise your vibration into the air.
wave it around like you don't care. I've seen a comedian actually do that, where it's like, but if you're drowning, that's the thing you do. So don't mix that up. Wave your hands in the air like you don't care. Like, oh, doesn't want to be saved. I'm gonna bend my. So Biggie is big out there in the galaxy.
Yeah, he's immense. He's immense.
Notorious
immenseness.
Yeah,
Mr. Immenseness. Exactly.
He has mass, dude.
Exactly. He has total mass.
He's not dense. He has mass.
He has infinite mass. No space, but infinite mass.
Yeah. Oh dear, Galactic hip hop. Ooh, straight out of Pluto.
Exactly, straight from the hood of Pluto. Kicking the tails of the lizards out of my hood. Constantly dealing drugs in my hood. Getting this poison out.
Traveling the solar system in my lowered spaceship. Which doesn't make sense.
My consciousness raised spaceship.
Yeah, it's like boom, boom, boom. How can you lower?
I'm thumping my high vibration every galaxy I go.
Yep, and then you've got just next door the Slayer fanatics.
Exactly.
You're harshing my mellow, man.
All
You
right,
won't hear
everybody.
this on a science show.
We want you to come up with your galactic rap line. So go on into the chat room. And if you are really, really good, we might have you come on and tell us your galactic rap line. So if you are listening on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, or any other means and modality and want to join the chat room, be a potential caller, go to zoom.us and all the information is on the screen for you to come and join. All right, everybody, let's engage this comedy and come up with your galactic rap line.
Well, I've got a title, which is 100 light years and running.
Oh, let's add to that.
Which is NWA's EP after their album 100 Miles and Running. So 100 light years and running. The feds are after me.
Okay. I'm stuck in low vibration because everybody around me is stuck in mediocrity. I jump in my UFO and I make it a scene vehicle so everyone can understand I'm thumping my high vibration every galaxy I go.
Oh, I'm not rapping. I'm terrible at rapping.
It's all right. You're Aussie. You're entitled to do it. Don't worry.
I'm just trying to figure out how to bring in the asteroid belt. Where it's like this used to be my home, man.
The asteroid buds is HUD. Your HUD homes.
And that's a good question. Like, you know how the reference of in slang is like, yo man, you all right? And it's like, does the rest of the galaxy use the term man, or is that racist?
Or you ite, meaning all right,
yeah.
ite.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Joyce. Insane Palladian posse. Yeah, they don't dress up. So yeah, Greys with attitude. I still can't think of anything for Public Enemy. Because that name's perfect. Public Energy.
Yeah. Global air narrative enemy.
Fear of an enlightened planet.
Fear of an enlightened planet. Exactly.
It takes a galaxy of morons to hold us back. They've got long titles, so yeah.
Robin, there you go. You're starting to feel your galactic rap going. Anyone familiar with a rap group called KRS-One?
I know the guy. Yeah.
Yeah. They're the best. I listened to them when they first came out. Love that group to death.
Whoop whoop! It's the sound of the Arcturians. Whoop
it's
whoop!
The
it's the sound of
the Pleiadians. Whoop whoop.
Yeah. Yeah. Palladians is alien for police. See, that's really long, and the chat's going to move, so I'm going to miss half of that. Oh, hang on. I know what I can do. I'll just I asked something yesterday. I don't know what. Oh, damn you, chat. I don't know if my words were stray and you went about your day, but I asked many of us might have this thought underway. Why I ask my chandlers, I think they may be handlers and intuitives, aren't always physically balanced, or am I misguided? That's why that's more than what was cited.
That's not their rap. That's their spiritual question. Wrong show, wrong time to ask that.
Okay, well, it sounds better in rap.
Yeah, I know it does sound better. Look at you, Mr. Australian, who can't rap.
Well, no, I can't make it up. I can read it. Channelers. But yeah, handler sounds good as well. So no disrespect, of course.
Your channeler handlers can't handle this rap.
I've been living here for eons, y'all.
I'm the OG Hood. Been here for tens of millions of eons.
Me and 71 other OGs started this thing.
72 other of my brothers, cousins, and friends and family came out of void space, no space. Now we are I-ams stuck in this karmic resolution. Bitch, we can't get out.
Belief engine, y'all.
Exactly. Belief engine.
It's what you believe.
It's all about what you believe. Exactly.
Which, to bring it round back to science, is science is it can be proven, and that's why you need 8 other guys in white coats to agree that it exists, and then it's a peer-reviewed paper. Yeah, but like, what about if you break the laws of physics?
Well, they can't ask that because they won't peer review broken physics. It's just like archaeologists who pretend to be engineers.
Well, yeah, especially with the flat earthers, but gravity's just a theory. And yet, if you jump off a building, guess what's going to happen?
You will smack it to the ground.
Yes.
I'll never forget when I think it was Graham Hancock was having that argument with Zahi Hawass, and he said, "Do you have an engineering degree?" And he goes, "No, but I know what I'm talking about." And he's like, "So what makes you any different? Do you have an engineering degree?" You can't answer shit like that. Like, no, I don't have an engineering degree. So how do you know a 90-ton rock is going to crush a 100-pound log?
Because you believe it.
Because you believe it. Exactly.
It's like what I tell people, like, you are a fractal of the prime creator. You are God. But I mean, agreements were made. You're in human form now. Like, just, you have to sort of...
Don't blame God. Blame yourself. And don't blame your higher self. You're the one that chose it.
Oh, yeah. So, sometimes when bad things happen, it's like, I really want to have a word with my higher self. Oh, dear. As we've said, like, when you're doing all the work and your spiritual ego kicks in, and then your higher self, you say stub your toe, I say you fall down some stairs. And then there's that humbling aspect of reality. It was like, yeah, just chillax, man.
So many people just can't do the chillax part.
Yeah.
That's incapable because they're right on the edge of being a SJW snowflake simultaneously, having a temper tantrum about the universe.
Yeah. Or that classic one of, why does this keep happening to me? Well, the universe is giving me the same lesson over and over again, and you're addicted to the outcome. And so and you've lost them by now.
Or you're just on a river in Egypt, maybe. Denial, strange thing, isn't it? It is a river in Egypt for some people. A big old sailboat on it too.
Yeah, with those huge speakers or generators or tombs or
low frequency generators.
Yeah, I think Pink Floyd actually played the Pyramids of Giza. That would be. I don't know if they used the Pyramids of Giza, but they definitely played there.
I'm sure in Synchronicities played the Giza Plateau.
Oh no! I'm now have to try and get In Sync out of my head. I didn't like that band. Bye. Shut up! Just leave. Stop saying goodbye.
Bye.
Go and evolve. Yeah, the evolution will not be televised. Yeah, just mining that public energy. I'm Mont D, of course.
You're Mont D.
Yeah. And you be Andy and? No, that or Professor Griff.
David will have to be Easy E.
Yeah. And our DJ, he talks with his mind.
DJ Mind Games.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any records. Oh, it's all up in here. He's
look at this. Andrew and Donna. I wake up, I'm surprised that I'm breathing. My meat suit's is tight. I'm grieving. I'm retrieving my memories from the heavens, and it's groovy, and that's why they call me heaven. I'm not kidding. It's hollow, I'm moody, and I can't fly here, and it makes me broody. Yes.
We've just invented a new subgenre of a subgenre of subgenre. Light worker rap.
Whoop, whoop. That's the sound of galactic rap raising your frequency.
Get your booty on.
Exactly. Get your booty in your butt tonight.
So the next time you're actually visited by alien consciousness, start just dropping a beat.
Yeah.
And freak them out. Like,
You're gonna MC for the collective.
Hey, shorty, it's your birthday. Hey, I can imagine the Grey's response.
From Chaos, an attempt at a rap. Stuck for the millions of years, all these millions of years, so listen up. Yeah, too much, too fast. Millions of years, so listen up, y'all. Remember who you are, look up to the stars, drum beat, rattle shake, inner vision, let's create, root down, be here now. Whoop, whoop, raise that vibration.
We've come a long way from Soul Train.
Yeah. Yes. Great one, Alan.
Thank you, Sarah. Grace, I like big butts and I cannot lie. Or feel or have her own thought or
I like probing and I cannot tell a lie.
Hey baby, do you want to come back to my place for a probe? So like, yeah, and also why the cow mutilations? Just go to a library and get a book. Like, you're supposed to be a higher being. It's like, oh, this is the 80th cow we've sliced up.
They're barbecuing. They just don't want you to know that they're barbecuing the wrong parts.
Oh, so Earth is like a holiday house. Is like, what are you doing in the weekend? Oh, go to Utah, cut up some cows. Got to work on my rap record.
Exactly. I'm rapping with cows. Moop, moop. This is the sound of cows. Moop, moop. Gone fishing for cows. Something's wrong there. Lost in translation, Mr. Gray.
I'm ecstatic. No, really. I'm bursting forth with every fiber of my being. Ah, dear. The term dickless wonder just came into my head. I don't know. Those wacky grays.
A gray comedian has just stepped into the room. He's like, what are these bitches doing?
Well, actually, the gray comedian just explains his history of his race. There's no joke. We all laugh at it. It's like, yeah, we decided to not procreate. It's like a history lesson from his point of view, but the crowd just cry from laughter, like, you fools.
Yes, a total monotone delivery, and everyone's just laughing.
And so we had to go to Earth and abduct people and steal their DNA. Good idea.
Exactly, great idea. Which one of you came up with that, Gary?
Well, how about time travel? Go back in time to when you were able to regenerate your species and tell them, don't go into AI, you dickless wonder.
They didn't listen to us. We were too egotistical then.
We were young. We sat on our beanbag, listened to Pink Floyd.
Did a lot of drugs.
Mother, should I believe the government? All in all, you're just another brick in the energetic wall.
In the infinite wall. 1 million sentient beings in the gray suit and not one fucking comedian. Nah, 1 in every 5 million grays is a comedian.
Yeah, like the Sultarans from Doctor Who. They're all clones, but there's always one that's slightly a bit off.
Yeah, there's definitely black sheep grays. Black sheep grays are the unique ones. So I
the dark grays.
They're 50 shades of gray.
Yeah. They always end up in Titan. Yeah, you go to Titan. You stay there forever.
Yes, the black sheep rap group. They don't mutilate cattle, they mutilate sheep.
No one knows what it's like to be emotional, spawn, cloned. Oh yes, I like that. Yeah, Area 52, Area 51, 52. I think that's next door. But we should actually make. We need to find an artist so we can make a tour T-shirt for the rap group. It's like Area 51, CERN, Pine Gap. That would be funny.
Well, Pine Gap and CERN and all that stuff. That's like gray bars. That's where they go. That's where they go to pick up scientists. Hey, is that an equation in your pocket? Or are you just happy to see me?
A bit of both.
Let's go compare numbers. Aha.
Do you like to probe? I like to probe. Yeah, but we put ours in a rocket and send it away. You just like get us in a small confined space. I've said enough.
Let's entangle our DNA and see what happens.
Let's defy the rules of gravity and creation.
Can you imagine zero gravity sex?
No,
Everyone
I can't
ponder that for a second. Zero gravity sex.
It would be annoying because every time you thrust, you'd
have to learn to use the walls and everything to your advantage.
Yeah, definitely. You would have to hang on
a lot.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself a lot.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself, Myrtle. It's that time of the year again.
A whole new thing to bondage. I need you to stay put.
So is this the anal tabling? No, this is how we've been trying to have sex so we can continue on with the race. Yeah. And then Larry got drunk and thought, I got an idea. Oh, gee, imagine a Grey getting drunk. Okay, I feel something a little bit. A little something. No, it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Think of all the new sex positions you could create in zero gravity.
Oh, the rotation.
Yeah, full on rotation.
Oh, I'm sure the Greys that are listening in are very happy we've gone from Greys to sexual positions. Like, I don't remember how to do that. It's been millions of years.
Greys watch a lot of human porn.
Of course I did.
Yeah, it's an experiment, really. We know it is.
Experiment.
Experiment, really.
So what do they watch and go, I don't have that, and I don't have that, and are they a monosex? They don't have male or female, do they?
Technically they're not an actual generated species. They are technology that is commonly available that anybody can buy and put their consciousness in, not just one, but dozens. But it's like a car. It's got a whole bunch of pre-built-in features. But their whole species who said, we hate our skin suits, we're going to buy a whole bunch of gray suits and just move into them in mass.
Yeah, because the idea of a female Grey doesn't really pop to mind.
Yeah, but you see, you can have telepathic intercourse.
So okay. You're saying a mind fuck?
Yes, literally.
Catching the bus is going to be fun now. Take that.
Exactly. and they can cross galactic telepathic communication. So it's not exactly, it's a pretty quality skin suit, but it's hard for it to show emotions and things because they do so much telepathic.
Yeah. I've actually got a t-shirt like, the many moods of an alien. It's the same face, but it's like happy, sad, disgruntled, angry. Guys in the dark too. It is interesting that the zeitgeist, or the what's the word I'm looking for? The Grey alien, somehow they're little green men from Mars, but that's the go-to in the mainstream, where they all look like that. And then if you actually meet, there's how many other species of alien or beings out through the galaxy. No, we'll just, it's the small Grey guy, and we'll call him Green.
You see, the Grey guys are really kinky because they can do telepathic sex, so they can get it on with just about any species. They're just not going to have offspring.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have an octopoid being and a Grey and a 9-legged spider being in a threesome.
Hey, baby, you want to come back to my house and think?
Exactly. How do you surprise the telepath? Very carefully. Very carefully.
Oh yeah, like that classic one is like, we were going to have a psychic on tonight's show, but unforeseen circumstances have happened and he won't be turning up. A better way of saying that, which one of my shows, I didn't come up with it, but I'm borrowing it, is yeah, we're going to have a psychic turn up for the show tonight, but he was in a car accident. Yeah. Apparently the guy just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, literally out of nowhere. Exactly.
Yeah, I like that one.
So everybody, it seems like Zero Gravity Sex got a bunch of you going. And yes, there are telepathic STDs.
Yeah, like spiritual hygiene. It's like, I always visualize having a shower and just wash away. But I'm sure there's more to that. But so, are you saying, is it a marketing opportunity for us to have a telepathic condom?
I never really pondered that part.
Did you say pound or ponder?
Ponder that. I never pondered that one. And all of my fucked up conversations with them, I never thought about a telepathic condom.
Yeah, well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why Andrew and I are here in this moment of now to have this exchange of ideas. It's like, wait, that makes sense. I've never thought of that. That you're creating something new. The Galactic Historian telepathic condom. How do you put it on? And is there instructions? What's going on?
I'm sure we can sell it to the Pleiadians. They'll buy anything.
Yeah. Well, if In Synchronicity is doing another tour, they could be sponsored.
Sponsored by Galactic Historian's telepathic condom. Ribbed for her pleasure.
And yours.
And yours.
Karmic free. Well, that makes sense.
Her telepathic vibrators.
Now with the Tesla 0 point energy powered.
0 point clitty vibrator. But I don't have one. You do now. That's technology.
Yeah. Oh, I just thought of an album title. I don't have the blues. I have the grays.
I have the grays. Grays get gray ball when they can't have telepathic sex.
So is there a
walk awful funny?
Now here I nearly said Australia, but we do have it in Australia. But on Earth there is a subgenre called the blues, which is a very powerful subgenre and the precursor to rock, and it's element of spiritual and moving forward. You know, you've heard of the blues, everyone. If you haven't, it's like, where are you new? I'm just wondering, is there a music thing called the Greys where it's all just all boring monotone, and it's lifeless and it doesn't feel at all. Oh, listen to him play.
Gray's blues lyrics. Mm-hmm. Here I am driving my spaceship. Doing my equations. Caught in an infinity loop. Got the stupid human blues stuck in my mind.
I know one riff.
That's all I know.
I came up with a subgenre of music called prog punk, like progressive punk. It's 3 chords for 27 minutes. It's not going to sell. Like, you know, like Yes or Rush or Pink Floyd or Tool. Yeah, I'm taking that into the punk world. And it's like C, D, A. That's 27 minutes. There we go. That's prog punk.
Slam dancing Greys that got no soul. I got no soul.
That's
stupid
more...
human stole it from me.
I lost my... Well, imagine if Gray's got into country and western. I lost my craft. I lost my cow. I lost my emotions. I lost the ability to breed.
I keep listening to the Shania Twain song, and I just feel so inspired to do country music.
I feel like a monolithic type of being that has no gender either way. It's a very long title. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, the gray in a 10-gallon hat. Howdy, partner. Oh, grays are the cowboys of the galaxy.
Yep. They do a lot with cows, don't they?
Yeah. We love cattle. Yes, we've known.
We've known. You got a thing for them.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, here's a book called Anatomy. Read that. See, it's easy to emo grays. Yes. Oh dear, they've got a fringe.
So, what would a Gray's boy band be like?
Terrible. I think I have a intellectual connection with you, baby.
you make powerful equations.
You've got oh dear. There's a new sheriff in town, and he's short.
All right, everyone. Let's all come up with a gray boy band song. What would a gray boy band song be about?
Oh, let me see.
Let's come up with some lyrics.
Hybridization.
I ran over my amoeboid with my.
Oh, thank you, Colleen. I need your DNA, baby.
I need your DNA, baby. Exactly. That's the chorus. I'm just so incomplete without your DNA. I've been probing so many people till I finally found you. Longing for genitals.
I miss my penis. I miss everything. Just kidding. That cow is mine.
The country song is a grace. I fell in love with this cow. It broke my heart. Now I'm a gray with emotions. That cow, it just got along with every bull out there.
From the new album, Bovine Love.
Bovine Love. Red Eye Love, Bovine Love. Dun, dun, dun. It's Bovine Love. UFOs on the range, that's good too.
It changes that whole steers, queers, and beers or whatever it is.
All right, everyone. We've done some Galactic Gray boy band songs. The Grays are up there. We'll get you, bastards. We'll get you. Just wait. We'll get you.
For anyone that just joined the show, Andrew does do serious spiritual work, but not on this show. That was yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. Just wanted to share that.
The 2,800 hours of stuff I put out in 9 years.
Yeah, Galactic History 1.0. That's brilliant. Today, just not so much. Oh, did you see what Danny put in the chat? Sweet home Zetaricula.
Exactly. Yes, Galactic Comedy 3.0. We intend to offend because we've got to get some of the snowflakes melted.
There's another T-shirt, Galactic Comedy 3.1469, and have pie.
Have pie with a pie cake.
Yeah.
Pie 3.14 cake. That's what Gray's birthday is. That's what they get. They get pie for birthday.
Yeah.
What
flavor? Yeah.
Numbered.
And do they have bumper stickers? How's my flying?
If my flying is wrong, we'll call 1-800-GRAY. Report the Gray.
Oh, I wonder if the Greys are going to turn up and issue a copyright infringement on the movies and books, 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly, it's not a woman. It should be cattle. It should be leave the woman alone.
Gray's at the water cooler. We did that last week.
Oh, well, that just makes me think of we could release a Grey coloring book.
Ha! It's all paint by numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Gray. All right, flip. Gray.
Crayola instead of Crayola, Grayola.
a new color. Well, of course, 51 shades of gray. Thank you, Lana.
Oh, my jaw's starting to hurt already.
It's a bit of a secret about doing these shows. That's my goal, everyone, to make Andrew hurt. It's the only way I can do it.
Last show, my jaw hurt for 2 days. I'm like, I can't take no more.
Because I can't send him death threats or psychic attacks, so I just make him laugh and like, it's almost
great.
like going to a dentist.
Gray lives matter, sort of.
Well, they could if they, yeah. Well, the tongue needs to be colored in.
So, Robert, come on in here and join
minimally the tongue.
So, tell us what is your take on the Greys and something funny about them?
Something funny about the Greys. I'm reading a book right now that is disclosing a lot about the Greys, and the only thing I can think is that there's nothing funny about them.
Which is funny in its own right.
They fight with each other. They don't have emotions. They are disinteresting.
I'm just wondering, do other species do pranks on them? Because there's no reaction. Like they get custard pie to the face, and the Grey's response is like,
just absorb it.
Yeah, I need to get a cloth now. One of those quantum wipes that I heard about.
Yeah, from the first show, the quantum wipes.
Yes.
What happens if you give a Grey a wedgie? Nothing.
Nothing.
They get chafed. They get chafed.
Yeah, I was going to say, depend on the strength of the wedgie, because you may split them in half. Ooh, bold is sexy.
Let me go polish that head a little bit.
No euphemism there. Yeah, they look weird because their third eye is really wide. False eyelashes might help. Grey, a love story.
Grey, a love story.
Blink, blink, blink.
It becomes a transvestite singer. I just want to be free.
First, I was afraid. I was petrified.
But then I found my inner side, and I just let it out. I'm a flaming Grey.
Yeah, Gracilla, Queen of the Universe. That was a strange film. I had an idea. Don't quote that part, but I had a good idea, which I can't remember it now. Damn, it will come back to me.
Grey romance. Well, Grey's gonna have bromances too.
Fist bumps.
Exactly, fist bumps all the time.
I actually shared a meme of a grey alien watching Earth 2020 on the television, and like I think got Cheetos and holding a bong, and he just goes, "Lol, murder hornets."
Are there Grey lesbians? Yes. And then there's special Greys that are omnisexual.
Oh, now in Star Trek, when Picard keeps having Earl Grey hot, is that made out of an alien Grey?
Yes, it's extracted Grey.
Yeah. Boil, you little bastards.
Extracted Grey.
Oh, this is high level grayness. Grey is the new grey. Thank you, Joyce.
Oh, 1 second. I had to come back in. Taking my break.
I think the grey blood is a black, sticky type thing. Because I actually did an interview with John Edmonds, I believe his name, if I got it correct, who is part of the Stardust Ranch. Some people enjoy that interview. So if you go to Freedom Slips, that's the radio show, Wafer Thin Entertainment on YouTube, it's up on that. Talks about, you're familiar with Stardust Ranch, aren't you, Andrew?
Oh, yeah, I am.
Yeah. He's actually, he finally figured out how to kill greys. And you don't shoot them because they go, ow. But if you get a samurai sword and cut their heads off, they kind of die. And so it's fascinating. Like, and of course people go, well, where is it? Where's the evidence? I think the the aliens came and took it back. Weird, I know.
Yeah, they had to go bury it.
Oh, Earl Grey. Is that the tea or the guy?
But he invented Earl Grey tea.
Yeah, that's Gary's brother. He actually has emotions. He's a hybrid. See, there's a sitcom evolving where the Greys finally have their hybrid plans or experiments work, and then a hybrid Grey comes back in time just to take the piss out of all the emotionless Greys. It's a fish out of water story. 2 Greys and a baby. Yeah.
Oh shit, what the fuck we do with this thing? How do you feed it? It's always crying. It's always crying. What the hell?
It's feeling. Why is it feeling? Why can't I feel? Why is it wet? Why is it? And it smells. Oh, now it's wet and it smells.
And it's still crying.
Yeah, it's still crying. So we're having a grey day. Grey goose.
All right. All right. Why don't we take some callers? So everybody that would like to add to this comedy show, if you ask me what your fucking purpose is, I'm going to punch you. Okay?
Metaphorically.
Don't ask me any spiritual questions.
Oh, so no, you can't. Sorry, Andrew, I do apologize. You can ask spiritual questions, but I'm answering them.
Yes.
So, what's my purpose here? To piss off Andrew, and you've done it. Move on.
So you can go and raise your hand if you want to be a comedic caller on today's show. Go to the participant buttons, click raise your hand. Oh, look at this. No one's raised their hand.
They're not in their bath. Oh, there's one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Are you in a bath?
Is anybody raised? Has anybody done? Is anybody in their bathtub?
Yeah.
Okay.
I read Andrew and Donna. I read that wrong. We're scared of you. I thought we are sacred of you. I'm like, oh, that's not. Oh, it's scared. Well, no, we've had callers on before.
Yes. So everybody else, go on, raise that hand. Come on. Don't be so chicken shit.
Still good marketing, yeah. Come on, you pricks.
Come on, you pricks.
We got 4.
Well, come on, pricks, raise your hand. Let's get 5.
Ooh, going for 5.
All right. Let's pick Alan.
All right, Alan, you're unmuted.
Alan, how you doing today?
I tried to unmute him. Alan, don't touch your computer.
There we go.
Okay.
How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing very well, Andrew. Very well. Thank you.
You got to turn off your computer in the background.
Okay.
So we don't get an echo. There we go.
Is that better?
Much better. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, very well. Just watching it rain right now.
Great. It's gray and raining over here too. So what comedy stuff do you have for us today?
At the hub of interconnectivity, putting me on the spot. Ooh, I really don't know. Just enjoying the laugh sessions with the Feather Boys.
So what's made you laugh the most?
Right now, just laughing at all of the aliens right now. It's funny laughing at them.
Ooh,
Cool.
you're so funny, Alan.
Great material. Open with that. Open with that.
Exactly.
Fine.
MC Alan Downer.
You caught me off guard. I usually just like being a fly on the wall, but now I have to manifest into a funny human.
Yes.
And I know you don't like flies inside the studio, Andrew.
Now, Alan, be careful.
I have a comment for anyone who raises their hand and then gets caught off guard. Come on.
Exactly.
I want
Exactly.
to be a part of this, but I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, oh, that's very human of you. Ah, dear. So what, Andrew, do any of alien species just laugh at humans?
All the time.
Oh.
All the time. They wonder why we wear shoes. They laugh at it all the time.
Well, we can't float. That's why, you bastards. Have you gone for a walk in the rain at 3 degrees Celsius?
They wonder why women shave off their eyebrows and then paint them right back on.
Because they wanna.
They're really laughing at our mating rituals. Why the fuck did they get drunk to talk to somebody?
Years, lifetimes of suppression and trauma.
All right, Alan. Thanks for calling in. Let's see. Let's see. The next person isn't going to get taken off. Let's bring in Santo next.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Santo. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I just wanted to know my Galactic History, Monty, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. What's your galactic history? Monty's doing galactic history.
Specifically, Monty, can you tell me where I came from?
Scotland.
No Sicilians in Scotland, mate.
Well, there's a lot of tourism. I'm just saying. The Romans nearly got there, then Hadrian built that wall.
Okay. No, I'm fascinated by the grey conversation because I'd really like to know how this humour from their perspective is funny. Tell me a grey joke so I get it.
I just got an image of their stoners listening to Pink Floyd. That's funny. Yeah.
So you want to know gray comedy and how to get their jokes? How many humans does it take to make an infinite equation funny?
3.
See, nothing about that's funny to me. So how's it funny to a grey?
Because it's an infinite equation. It has no beginning or end.
Now, if you're a Buddhist, there is no human. So.
There is no humans can't perceive infinite. Ha 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 ha. To them, that's really funny.
Actually, do they have a pulse?
Yes, they do.
What constitutes a grey pulse?
Well, they have spines and they have a cranial pulse and they have a central nervous system that's attached to a twin heart. So
they're Time Lords.
So they have that. There's just their emotions operate at the 8th and 9th chakra level. That's
now
why
we're
we
down
can't.
to Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, Grey's Anatomy.
There we get it. So if, a human has, high blood pressure, do they have high spine pressure? How do you feel that?
No, they have DNA flaws. Like they don't get sick, but because they do so much DNA manipulation to themselves, they have lots of things like common DNA cold. They have lots of flaws because they're constantly upgrading themselves and fucking themselves up a lot.
They're sort of the poster boys for transhumanism, aren't they?
Well, they're grays. They're not human. They were never human to begin with.
Trans gray, then.
They're a skin suit they bought off of a galactic Walmart and have been souping up. And as I said, there's whole species who have left their skin suits completely and only live in grays. and then they can reclone themselves over and over and over again. Because once you get one gray suit, you can make many.
Oh,
By
in
the
that
first
meeting, I've got an idea. Let's stop evolving, and we'll get into this sort of 4-foot gray thing, and we'll upgrade, and then realize that we've made a very terrible mistake.
Right. And then after a while, when you're stuck in the gray body, been in the gray body for thousands of years, it's very hard to go back into a normal body that has your normal body, which would have a different sensory system. That's why these species get stuck in grays.
So if a grey's not feeling well, what's their equivalent of an aspirin? Or do they actually have medication? Or do they go, you know,
They just change their DNA again.
So just swap it out. So if a piece doesn't work, they just swap it out.
Yeah, pretty much a DNA rung or whatever it is that they're going to do to fix it. And most of the time it makes it worse.
So do they get excited by our GMO food?
No, not really.
Do they eat?
They have a gelatin substance that has long chain proteins in it, and they can absorb chemicals through their skin that alter their chemical process, but the core consciousness is separate from chemical process. Our core consciousness is affected by our chemical process. Their core conscious isn't. So the body could be drunk, but the mind isn't.
So do they have grey dream time?
Collective. They have a collective space. But then again, there are certain pods of grays who have the DNA to dream, or technology that simulates dream space, but it's not connected to a celestial being holding dream space, unless they're on a planet ship with a celestial spirit inside it.
So is the closest thing we have is when we say hive mind. Is that our closest experience when we go, oh, hive mind?
No. More like a hippie commune. And I know you were a part of one before. More closer to hippie commune.
A hippie commune was grey. Damn it. I found it rather colourful.
Yeah. That's
well,
they don't share their collectives. As a collective, they don't share everything. They have private stuff, but it's they'll share the things that make their pod better. But they have their own projects that they work on and hoard stuff around too. It's a big problem in a lot of gray society is hoarding.
So they keep secrets from one another and have agendas and
absolutely secrets. So if it's some like massive weapon that they're trying to protect, yes. If it's a concept that they're working on, they don't want the collective to be exposed to it. They just say it's a concept I'm working on that I don't want people to know about. I want to surprise you with it. So there's different compartments to secreting. Yes.
No wonder they work with the New World Order.
So they kind of introduced us to the concept of compartmentalization.
No, we had that long before. They just industrialized it.
Right.
Yeah. So Joyce is asking, what do they hoard? Everything you can fucking think of.
They have a probe room. Here's my probe room.
They hoard everything you can think of. Pieces of artwork from the worlds that they are at, because it's all their own pattern recognition to whatever the hell they're creating. Do they like our jewelry? Yes, they do. They are a lot of some grays, well, just a lot. Let's just say have an affinity for gems and jewels. Okay.
But
so
they don't have it. I was going to say, is there an emotional response from hoarding all this stuff, or is it they're trying to reclaim that emotional response?
Again, their consciousness is their emotions are at a higher chakra level.
Okay.
So we don't perceive them, just like our ears can only hear certain stuff.
Yep.
So their emotions are at a higher chakra package level. Now
Yeah,
there's some grays who have gotten the right DNA mixture to have lower chakra emotions.
mhm.
Remember, they're a fully modifiable, programmable DNA skin suit.
Yeah.
Okay. So are they excited by the transhumanist agenda or the AI kind of concepts for the future here? Do they see that?
No, that's a lizard. That's a lizard thing.
But does it resonate with a grey to go, hey, this is something that has a lot of, no.
It's a lizard thing. That's really a lizard thing.
For them, being there, done that doesn't work.
Yeah, and they're done that.
Because that's sort of in a way, that's what the greys are, the outcome you don't want to have, where you merge with AI and machines and then you keep upgrading, but you're sort of in a way staying put in time, aren't you, Andrew? Because instead of evolving as a creator being and being part of a fractal of the prime creator, you've stalled and gone into upgrading and no genitals, and that's why they're doing the hybridization, because after million years of just sort of adding bits, they realize that they've lost a lot.
So something else, grays are they like to be hired as species managers.
Yeah.
So what they do is they manage other DNA modification programs done by other species to other species. So the grays manage DNA programs and surface farms here. They're great DNA manipulators and managers, and keeping farms separate and making sure they don't cross over. That's why they're those types of skin suits, and the people who occupy those programmable skin suits are highly sought after. They keep the farms running at a purity level.
So if they did a survey to figure out whether they were happy doing and being who they are, does that score well over there? Are they happy being greys and kind of doing these kind of tasks that you're saying? Are they proud of their species in a way?
So once again, you can't call a gray one species like humans. Grays are a programmable suit that was created from the ground up, where other species who had other skin suits from biological genetics, who left their skin suits consciously, left their planet, and became something that was a ground up creation. It has no celestial being attached to it unless the gray's on a planet and goes through extended thing. So all the experiences they had before they became in a gray programmable skin suit are a part of them. They just don't experience the emotions through the body like we do.
Yeah, but
so
don't
they can be happy, they can be sad, just not at the pendulum of ways that we can.
But do they have, like, a flag or something that says, hey, we're greys, and go to the pub?
No. They have they have pods of agreement. This is my theme. This is my theme. Every now and then, a few pods will come together and make a bigger theme.
So a grey finishes work.
Would what?
Does he go out and hang out? A grey finishes work. Does he hang out with his other grey mates, and do they just hang out?
Yes, they hang out in their collective.
So what's a typical grey? What's a typical grey kind of hangout conversation go like?
They talk a lot about work.
Okay. So do we.
Okay, they talk a lot about work. Sometimes they talk about, I don't want to be a gray no more. I want to go back to a normal biological body and have biological experiences. And they're like, you're rebellious. Don't do that. We left the bodies of emotions for a reason. We could live hundreds of thousands of years in these bodies. And then there are other times where they miss chemical body connective love. But at other times, they know that they don't experience the emotional traumas the same way. Their core consciousness is protected from torturous traumas. So it's really about advancing the science of consciousness is the water cooler pub talk for them. Now, do Greys have sports? Yes, they do. Stuff that they've imported from their other biological skin suit cultures that have been hybrided into all sorts of different entertainment things that you can still do in a body. It's not like they go and play football. They have their telepathic version or their holographic version where they can suddenly become, one's a gorilla and one's a giant, one's this, and they're all playing, some metaphorical, game.
So do they have the equivalent of an internet? And what's the alternate media called?
Their collective is their internet. And at times, many collectives come together and have a pay-per-view. Okay.
Do they have an alternate Grey media?
There are some Greys whose management purpose is to keep connected to other Greys. It's like, pub life in Britain. Every now and then you'll go to the next pub down and see what's going over there and hoping to get your ass kicked, right? Okay.
Curiosity killed the Grey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there are other Grey pubs that are open for anyone to come and visit.
Now, is there an Alex Jones type character that's putting forward all these conspiracies in the Grey community? We can be human. We were human. We can do this.
Exactly.
Grey conspiracy pods.
Yeah.
Technically, yes, but they refer to that as their military intelligence.
Two words that should not go together. Yeah.
Because when you're operating at that level and you have a species that doesn't come from a planet anymore, there are plenty of other species who are still chemical biological suits who want to make you their slave race.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're constantly postulating what we would say is conspiracy, but they're making these and making big data recordings in case some shit ever happened to them. They pre-thought it out.
Yeah.
Okay? Pre-thought it out. And there are many pods of Greys who have been taken over by aggressive species and become a slave race.
But if they're not proud to be Greys.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they are. Okay, yeah. They just express
unless they've really fucked up their DNA and can't get out of something. And they read a really unique piece of rare time DNA that they have to travel ancient and past because that DNA doesn't exist anymore.
So what's a painful experience for a Grey? Like someone here has a relationship breakup and they...
No. They're protected from those consciousness traumas in the Grey body. They're chemically separate.
So what is a painful experience?
Being forced out of their Grey body and put into a clone that isn't a Grey that has chemical emotions. That would be painful.
So what would happen if you cut the head off of a Grey? Like when the actual Grey body, is it like Cylons from Battlestar Galactica, the consciousness goes somewhere else?
Yes.
Or, okay.
If they have backups, and most of them do.
Yep. Yeah, that would explain, not bravery, but the complete ignoring of danger on a certain level.
You can think, if you guys have seen Altered Carbon, where they cast into a body.
Yep.
That's similar, except all the bodies look exactly the same. Except, well, there's some varieties. There's some variety out there.
Have you seen this Grey? Well, that helps. They all look the same.
Well, you know how you talk about the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, and you say they have a spine. Mm-hmm. Is there such a thing as flight or fright?
No, they're chemically separate.
Right.
Their consciousness is completely chemically unentangled, so whatever chemical response is going on in the body does not affect the consciousness.
Yeah, that's what I mean by bravery. There's a fine line between bravery and stupidity, but if they're 8-9 levels density experiencing emotion, which I think from a soul level is like, oh, that's interesting while you're on fire. They've got that, they're dissociated, aren't they? They don't, like, if I stub my toe, it hurts. For them, it's like, well, that's fascinating. Let's write this down type of aspect.
So there are oftentimes, it's not one consciousness in a body. There could be thousands or hundreds of thousands occupying the same body. Literally.
Well, literally. Psychologist's dream.
because they can create these thousands of energetic tentacles that make manifestations so they can operate unique pieces of machinery.
So they're not technically a hive mind, but they have the ability to sort of be a hive mind.
Yes, but still have their individuality protected and shared at a different level.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, you were asking what can hurt a lot can hurt a gray. It was chemically separate, but there are certain type of weapon technology that looks for beings who are chemically unentangled from their emotions, that is designed to make them feel emotions immediately, which then will spread throughout their collective connected to them, which can do massive harm.
But are we meant to be the exact opposite in that we have feelings, and when we overconnect to our feelings, we lose our balance? So where is the sweet spot between the disconnected consciousness of a grey and a basket case human who can't get over themselves?
It's the DNA side of the instrument of experience.
So the DNA is kind of that neutral basket for the human.
Yes, but our consciousness has not activated strands of DNA that we have with us. Greys can at will change the nature of the DNA in their programmable skin suit.
So when you talk about DNA, when they discovered recently the so-called I motif third and fourth DNA strands, what we call junk DNA, is that just our unrealized potential? And we
yes,
okay.
Unrealized potential. That again, a gray does not need to stick to one concept. It is a multi-dimensional programmable DNA skin suit that can have many multiple versions of itself on multiple timelines and not affect the core consciousness.
So that's why you could
have tens of thousands in one body.
So did they just tap in and distort that ability, something that we could mistakenly do if we tap into our so-called junk DNA and don't know how to?
No, our DNA has rules for you to be able to do that. You have to reach a certain frequency and vibration and maintain it for a certain period of evolution for you to get access to that.
But what if that DNA strand is being manipulated via nanoparticles and is actually affecting us?
No.
That strand.
Well,
No?
Our DNA has stopgap measures so that doesn't happen.
Ah.
Yes.
With
who creates that rule?
The original founders of our DNA skin suit put that in there so that we would progress very slowly.
But still progress. So, Andrew, with all your readings, I'm going to probably lean towards no, but are there past greys on the planet? Someone was a grey and they got out of it, or is that the issue with the grey nation? Is that they can't get out of the greys into a skin suit which has totally different makeup of emotions and all that type of stuff?
Most of them don't want to leave the gray skin suit.
Okay.
They like it. There are some that are trapped in the skin suit, but the soul can be in many suits.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there are ones that are karmically trapped in that, because a chemically disentangled emotions, does it retain karma in the body? No, only in the soul. So if a gray who technically can't die goes on hundreds of thousands of years and has no life review, they build up a lot of karma. And this is the other side of why grays they avoid karma and they run into a real death scenario and the body's disintegrated on many dimensions simultaneously, and they have to go through an astral path, a life review. And
that would take
many of them haven't lived on a planet, permanently lived on a planet in thousands of years, are not collected to a celestial mind. Oftentimes the original celestial being they were born to, the planet's not even alive anymore. So they've got to find an astral world that will accept them. Okay. And soul family members that might go, well, you need to come in and be a baby for a little bit to resolve some of this karma.
I was going to say, like, the life review of 100,000 years, that will take a bit.
Right.
But Andrew, like you say, we're multidimensional beings with soul shards scattered. Can it be in reverse that the question that Monty was just asking, not necessarily Grey being here, but beings, multidimensional beings here with small or large soul shard aspects stuck in Grey land?
Yes. Yes. There are
So
many,
the resolution.
there's no resolution to that, right? At this point in time. Yeah. Until humanity goes through its evolution and then goes to learn how to properly reclaim parts that are DNA locked into a programmable DNA species, because that programmable DNA species, it is able to literally lock the consciousness into that body and core protect it from the laws of the universe. That's why gray bodies are so unique. It's what allows it to be an unentangled observer and to travel through time unhindered, and it doesn't cause the time travel mind damage
to happen. But as you say, when you were saying before, in order to some soul family actually and ah about accepting the soul codes and keys that you talk about that are the pathway to some sort of galactic universal experience, are those soul codes and keys almost non-existent in the world of a Grey?
No.
In other words,
no, they can do all that. They just choose not to. They avoid it. That's why most of them go into gray skin suits, to avoid having to evolve.
So is it like, you know, a refugee, you know, somebody goes, oh, let's just adopt this child and try to give them a better life. Does it take a benevolent race, human or otherwise, to actually take on the challenge and the task of almost adopting?
We can't take it on. They have to make the choice, and we would lead by example.
Interesting.
We'll just martyr ourselves to beings who don't want to change.
And so is that the issue with the Greys, is that because logically it's like, oh, that sounds fascinating, but in a way there's an element of a trap, and it's it's like, for me, it's somewhere to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. I don't want to become a Grey, but I'll hang out with a Grey just to see what their expression is, except for the probing, of course. And it's fascinating. Yeah. What?
Monty, are you saying, are we more fascinated by the Greys than they are of us, because we just don't understand their domain, and so we're more fascinated by their domain?
No, marketing has made us fascinated to them. Our world marketing. They're actually, to me, a very uninteresting species. There's far more interesting species out there.
Yeah, as
I said, far more interesting species out there.
Yeah. In the early, like, it's small gray aliens, which is like the go-to of Alien, on through the culture. It's always the big head, the small eyes, like the X-File, those small grays, and then they're referred to as little green men. It's like, but that's been around since after Roswell, where that idea, it's been pushed in the artistic element of it.
Roswell wasn't grays. Big fallacy. And again, UFO community is going to have a tough time with this, but Roswell wasn't grays. Grays, the ones that are mainly operating here are DNA farm managers who travel through time, making sure certain lineages stay pure or are diversified, so that in the future there's a birth rate that they can use to their advantage, because they're managing the farms for the races in Hollow Earth, the various bloodlines.
So the Greys are basically administration.
Yes, they're administration and hands-on managers. That's why they do a lot of probing and abducting, because at times they actually have to take core light samples out of your organs.
And like the lower spine and stuff, yeah. Go ahead, Santa.
Yeah. So was it marketing or information, disinformation, when we're told that agreements were made with Greys to bring the technology that we have? We did deals, or is that just misinformation? We like to think that when
it's misinformation. It was when Eisenhower made the deal, it wasn't with one species, it was with a coalition of 1,000+ species.
Okay. And we just got obsessed with the Greys and associate technology with Greys.
And our UFO community didn't have another name other than that.
Well, now we call them Greys. What do they call themselves? Like, what is it? Just a human slang term, or?
Yes, we're pretty much a human slang term.
Yeah.
Yes, a rather racist one at that.
Yeah, it's like, what are they? They're Greys. Like, thank you. That like the yellows and the reds and the blacks. Yeah, and the whites. Mm.
So when you say Eisenhower, did deal with a lot more, were they similar in nature? Whether it was Nordics or, whoever, do they have similar attributes that bring them together? Or was it a plethora of, colourful different civilizations that shared a common idea? And we got that technology that way via a shared agreement.
What technology do you think we got?
Well, the silicon, the chip.
We already had it. We already had it.
Okay. Well, the DNA bio manipulation that's going on these days, would we have developed that without agreements?
So everything we are told about the agreements is 97% disinformation. Okay. First thing first. When Eisenhower said in that moment, I've got to go talk to who runs this world before we can make a deal, he went and talked to the farm managers, who were Greys, as my definition, meaning they came from no celestial home. They're there to manage DNA, and they've been hired by the Hollow Earth people to manage the surface population and narrative. Okay? Those that came from the other place knew there's a Hollow Earth species, knew there's a farm species, knew there's a manager species, but went to the consciousness of the self-supposed leaders, the Eisenhowers and the others, because he wasn't the only one contacted at once. That many were contacted simultaneously. And what basically came down is, we will limit the use of nuclear weapons because we do know it affects many other dimensions, time stream, galaxies, universe. It actually affected our own time travel in a way we didn't expect. And we will ratchet down some of this, but you guys have rules that says there's certain types of DNA you cannot manipulate. It's against the laws of the universe, and we will go to war over it. If we stop using nuclear weapons, we're going to go to this eugenics side and do stuff here that you don't like, which began this long-term negotiation about advanced eugenics.
So it's like a blackmail of like, don't use these weapons or we'll do this.
Yes. Which
So
then increased the external force that was trying to create a blockade. So the farm, that every time there was a harvest, they wouldn't send out these eugenic modified humans to other farms to begin eugenic breeding in general.
Right. So some of the nasty eugenics programs that happened since then are as a result of just taking on that kind of dark experimentation on board here.
Don't call it all dark. Some of it had a very lightful purpose to it.
Right.
You got to understand what humans are used for. There is progenitor technology strewn all over the universe, and humans were originally created to empower, and use progenitor technology. If you don't have the right exact DNA signature frequency, you can't use the progenitors or founder species technology. Okay, we are the galaxy's repairmen. Okay, or fix-it service. Okay,
We'll turn up between 10 and 4. Hopefully you're at home.
So a lot of the farm people that are getting taken other places, they go to operate the progenitor technology in these other worlds. There's a lot of weather control technology on tens of thousands of worlds that needs a human to run it, or a series of humans to run it, because the world that grew up there doesn't have the DNA frequency to run it. And they don't want to create impurities in their own DNA so to run this technology. So they'll outsource someone to do it.
That's interesting. But when you said that the managers were the greys, I'd heard and always understood that it was the insectoid type races that were the negotiators that would be the...
No. The managers, it's like collective bargaining in unions, okay? The managers are telepathically connected to their managers who are connected to their ruler elite. Okay? So the managers are the front man to negotiations. Remember, one gray can have tens of thousands inside it, plus be telepathically connected to the overlords.
Right.
And thank you, Santo, because you just made the comedy show just fly. Just go.
I have a knack. I have a knack for bringing it right down. It's called dark comedy, Monty.
Yeah, that's it. But good information, don't get me wrong. So I'm just trying to get a joke in here and there.
All right, pick it up, Monty, pick it up.
So, well, so from now on, when you imagine greys, they wear a white shirt and a very black tie because they're middle management.
Yes, they're like office space.
Yeah.
I want my red stapler.
You took my stapler. You just took my stapler. Thank you, later. The comedy show just got seriously grey.
Well, that's a bit like cars. You know, I noticed back in the 60s, you had red, you had purple, you had green, you had colour. You know, You had the hippies, we had colour. Look at what you're dressed in, Monty. Seriously, black headphones. You got a bit of grey in your beard, but you've got black shirt.
You're talking to a metalhead, but go on.
And I bet your cat, is your cat grey or black?
No, tortoiseshell. She's getting a bit of grey on her chin, though.
Well, there you go. But you look at the cars. Look at the cars now. They're depressing. They're all shades of grey.
Mind you, I'm not a big fan of the lime green. If you remember Santo being Australian, the lime green laser. I think that's for people who always lose their car in car parks. It's like lime green. Oh, there it is. But yeah, you don't see orange that much anymore. It's all blues, blacks, white, beige, and gunmetal grey, and everything. There isn't, apart from taxis, there's no yellow or lemon yellow, or there's no those vibrant colours.
Nope. And the other day we were walking along the beach, the Gold Coast, and along the front on Surfers Paradise there, they've put up this monstrosity of building. And seriously, it doesn't look human, and it looks very, very strange. And I think what happened to our consciousness, that colourful, well-designed shapes, curves have disappeared. What are we becoming?
Architects are robots.
Yeah,
basically.
Don't blame the greys for that. That's human uningenuity.
Yeah.
Remember during the 80s, the IBM era, everyone wore a gray suit and a black tie everywhere they went. Humanity conforms in its design features. Okay?
I live in Melbourne, and the style is that everyone wears black. And if you're a goth or a metalhead, you don't stand out. You're like one of the herd, which kind of sucks being an outlier and rebel. So if you're a rebel here, you wear pink or orange or fluoro. It's just like, I'm into metal, but you're wearing tie-dye. Yeah, everyone else just looks like in that monotone grey world, and not alien grey, just grey world.
You'd make a good roadie. You'd be a good roadie. You'd blend in.
Yeah. I also play guitar, so I could be on stage as well.
Yeah, set your own gear up and pack it as well.
Well, try being in a metal band in Australia. There's a lot of setting up and pulling down yourself. It's the only time that metal gets acknowledged in Australia is when Metallica tours.
And they're done.
No, well,
No, they're still around. Yeah. All right, Santo, we're going to let you go. We got room for one more caller.
Excellent. Thanks for bringing me in.
All right, Robert, let's pick Gabe Reel next.
And be funny.
You're open, Gabe.
Gabe, are you there?
Hello, Monty's doing.
How are you doing?
Andrews, Bartzis.
Did we catch you off guard?
No, you're finding me in Galactic Bathtubing time.
He's halfway through a cow.
He's halfway through a cow. He's in mid-probe.
So, we could another idea for merchandise: grey white jelly.
I waiting many millennia to finding a moment to speaking to Monty's Dean for Galactic History.
Okay, you're from Brazil.
I coming to you from no time.
No time at all. Well, you should know everything then. You grew up in Brazil to a lovely, right near a convent, and you have an issue with your microphone.
I finding stories for microphones. It's trying to find better galactic space. Moment, please.
That galactic Wi-Fi, it really sucks.
I transversing through time and space for you now. Make galactic transportation to Wi-Fi signal, yes?
Transfer. So you sound like you drive a bus.
You're finding me now. Better, yes?
A little bit better. You have an interesting
How is now being listening?
I speak Yoda. I don't know what you just said. I'm good at syntax of Yoda, yes.
I searching for you many times in millennia space and time.
Oh, I'm new.
Yes, my friend. You is new to you, but not new to me. I knowing you many times. Infinity, yes. If you can grasp concept, my friend.
Yeah, he forgot to take his gray medication.
Well, I feel like I've been here a long time. Well, that first in, last out aspect. So that's when I merge with my higher self, I'm going to have a meeting, and that's on the list. Like, what did I agree to, you bastard?
You agreed to a lot.
yeah, I know. Yeah. So yeah, my life review will be me yelling at the screen. Like, what the fuck is that? So I need a grey coffee. Oh, that sounds a bit wrong. Like, I don't have jaundice. So Galactic Historian. But well, if you are a grey,
you need Earl Grey coffee.
Ah, yes, mild. If you're a grey, you wear in a skin suit, and then you transgendered over into your grey body, and you've been having upgrades, and basically your life is like a video game. That's basically what it is. You hoard things, you collect things, and you have upgrades. It's wonderful. You've muted yourself, so. Anyway, upgrades. Oh, nice, Danny. I like that.
Upgrades. All right, Monty. I think we've had enough comedy for today. All right, give everybody a way to get a hold of you.
I can be found in the war zone that is Twitter at Real Monty Dean. I'm on Instagram as Monty.Dean, on Facebook as Monty Dean, and my YouTube channel is Wafer Thin Entertainment.
And you guys know who I am. We will be back this coming Tuesday for another show, this coming Thursday. And our next comedy show will be in 2 weeks from now. All right, everybody, have a great day. And make sure you hit like and share on this. Take it away.
Each different bubble of reality is true. A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. Nudge, nudge, it's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence. Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important? Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.